Hi there, Facebook friends. Todd Gutner here in the News Center Maine weather office. We are continuing to update you on the nor'easter that's out there. We have had blizzard conditions most of the afternoon. In fact, we have a verified blizzard now, the 3 consecutive hours of winds gusting over 35 miles per hour with visibility a quarter mile or less from snow at the Portland Jetport. And a lot of down east Maine has also verified on the blizzard too. So we'll get into more of that. We'll be checking in with Don Carrigan and Carly Dion in a little bit. But first, let's do some of the in-house weather and show you some of the latest info. And it's really the wind that's been grabbing my attention most recently with this storm. Earlier, it was the snow and that really heavy band, but now these wind gusts are taking center stage. Robbinston, which is down east Maine, pretty far out there, just had a 77 mile per hour wind gust. Rye, New Hampshire, down on the seacoast, 75 mile per hour wind gust. Cape Elizabeth, 71 mile per hour wind gusts. And several towns have gusted into the 50s from this storm. East Surrey, West Bath on the mid-coast are a couple of them. The storm has undergone cyclogenesis, bombogenesis, rapid intensification in other words, and is creating these really heavy snow bands. This one that's draped over coastal Maine right now was over southern New England this morning, and it did produce actually some thunder snow. You recall years and years ago, the famous meteorologist Jim Cantori was, caught in some thunder snow, and he kind of lost his gourd when it happened. And it's possible we could get a few claps of thunder as these heavy bands continue to rotate in. But right now, the greater Portland area, coastal York County, a lot of the mid-coast, the capital of Augusta, and around Lewiston, Auburn, seeing very heavy snowfall. And this continues up into the Oxford Hills and beyond. We're actually starting to see a dry slot work into down east Maine, and the snow is not as heavy out here. The intense stuff is now north of Bangor for the most part. It's still clipping Bangor and Brewer and Hamden, but the focus is now north of town on up through Old Town and Millinocket and the Central Highlands, southern Piscataquis County. So this is getting pretty far inland. I do expect, though, that this band rotates back through the down east coastline and drops some more heavy snow before the storm is done. So you're not done in down east Maine, even though you may want to go out there now and do some cleanup. There's the visibility, which was down below a quarter mile in Bar Harbor. It's now up a lot higher to a half a mile. So the snow is lighter in down east Maine in that dry slot, but it's still a quarter mile or less. Look at Wiscasset, essentially a whiteout right now. Portland a quarter mile, Lewiston a quarter mile as well. The wind is the other aspect that you need for blizzard criteria. It's got to gust over 35 miles per hour frequently within the hour, and that has to happen for 3 straight hours. And look at this. I mean, we're gusting well into the 40s right now, and Bar Harbor to 52 miles per hour. So that's blowing any snow that's fallen, and it's drifting all over the place, getting caught in the nooks and crannies around the house or around some of the wheels in the car. Like one side of the car might not have any snow, the other side it might be completely socked in. Same thing with driveways. It's kind of interesting. You may not have to do any cleanup right now at all. The wind is just kind of whipping it right across the driveway. You might even see some blacktop. So it's kind of complicated. I think measuring this snow is going to be really tough, getting an accurate measurement. Snow bands continue to work through during the early evening, but after about 6, 7, 8 o'clock, as the storm stacks up, we're going to see the intensity start to wane with this, and those snow bands begin to shrivel up and fall apart. The back edge of the snow will also be working through from west to east between 10 and midnight. And look at this. We are clear by tomorrow morning. Now, many towns are reporting 6 inches of snow right now with several more to go. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a 20-inch snow amount, and that would probably come from interior down east Maine somewhere where we get some extra fluff factor. By the way, the mountains, while you're not in the bullseye with this, you're still going to see a lot of fluff there too, and great POW for skiers and snowboarders for the next several days. I think everyone's going to be happy with this storm. It's pretty easy to move around, just going to get blown back on you as you're cleaning it up. And take frequent warm breaks, please. The wind chills right now are way below zero. We're like 10 to 15 degrees below 0. So don't stay out too long. Just take the driveway in sections. Go do one little section, head in, grab a cup of hot chocolate or tea or whatever, and then go back out and do the next section. You're probably going to have to do a couple of swipes on the driveway, one before you go to bed, and the final cleanup will be tomorrow morning. Let's go check on some of the outside conditions now. We're going to begin on the mid-coast. Always love checking in with world-famous Don Carrigan and his pups, who sometimes make an appearance, and when they do, there's always entertainment. Let's hope we see them this go-around. Hey there, Don. How's it going?
Well, you know, Todd, it isn't going all that bad. I had to get a cue over the phone, so let me hang the phone up. And if I can, with a glove on, well, we'll just put it in the pocket for now. It's not as bad as it was when we did a hit on TV at 2 o'clock. Wind is still howling, but not quite as strong as it was then, at least not at this moment. Still quite a bit of wind. North is behind the camera. It's inside the house, so the house is blocking most of the wind from hitting me. There's a lot of wind swirling around. In fact, there's so much we've had a little catastrophe with the gas grill. This was covering the gas grill. The wind sucked in under it and yanked the thing right off. So that tells you that takes quite a bit of wind to get in there and pull that out. So don't assume that we've got a barbecue going on, because it's just a little too chilly for that. I think we have 7 inches of snow, maybe 6 or 7. It's kind of hard to tell. It is, as everybody's been talking all day, light, fluffy snow. But so far, we'll have to get a tremendous amount more to equal the 12 to 18 inches. That's okay. I'm not complaining about that. We talked to sheriff's departments in the Lincoln County, Knox County, no major problems there. People have been staying home today, which is the sensible thing to do, right? Bath Iron Works has been open. Some stores open. Of course, it's Saturday, so nobody's going to school anyway, and most people aren't working today. So that's a good thing. Great timing for this storm. We have not lost power here yet. Knock on wood, and hope we don't. A flicker once or twice, but again, light fluffy snow, not sticking to the trees, not weighting branches down. So that's a really good thing. So we hope that that situation continues as it is. The winds are bad. And of course, the snow has made for poor visibility a lot of times. Again, when we were on at 2 o'clock, you could not even see the tree line over on that far side of the field. It's not that easy to see now, but it is there. You could not even see that far at 2 o'clock. I don't know if we'll get some other bands, heavy bands, and recreate that circumstance. A lot of drifting that we see, and I'm sure that's going to be an issue, and already is probably, for the people who are out plowing today. The plow went by here a few minutes ago, so thanks to all of those people for working today and doing all they're doing to keep us clear. It's kind of a good old-style Maine snowstorm, right? And we haven't had one of those for a while. Fortunate that it's on a Saturday, as we mentioned, that no big interruptions. We don't always have them with this much wind, creating those blizzard conditions, as Todd's been talking about. When I last checked at the weather condition on Pemaquid Point, right sticking out into the ocean at the end of the Bristol Peninsula, probably 10 or 12 miles in that direction from here, winds were gusting in the high 40s and sustained in the high teens. So cold and windy, 8 degrees about, and certainly feels like a little less than 8, I would say, and we're out here. Glad to be in the sheltered spot, but we hope that things ease down a little bit as we get into the evening, and then tomorrow we'll have sun and just have to come out and grab the shovel and get things cleaned up, put the cover back on the gas grill, where we can't measure snow today, obviously, and move on. Todd, incidentally, we reported yesterday that a lot of the things in nature in Maine need snow cover in the winter. A lot of the plants that we have here, a lot of farm plants, strawberries, wild blueberries, high bush blueberries, lots of things need snow cover. Here on the coast, we have not had much snow at all so far this year. So this is actually as much as it's a pain for a lot of us, it's a good thing for all the people who farm and garden and all that. Having that snow cover is a good thing. A good thing for those of us who love maple syrup too, because the maple producers need snow to insulate the roots, hold the cold incidentally, in the ground so it doesn't thaw out too quickly. And crazy that later this week it'll be in the 40s and raining. So that seems to be the world of inconsistent, highly changeable weather we are in nowadays, with changing climate and all of that. Anyway, we're having a good time in the snow. We'll toss back to Todd, and we'll see you again at 6 o'clock tonight. Todd, take it away.
That's a great story that Don put together, and it's on our website if you want to go check it out. I watched it the other afternoon, and it's so good and interesting how a lot of our farmers really need and crave snowpack, and it's been tough to come by over the last several years. Don knocks on wood. I'm very superstitious too. I do it all the time. And how about Don's setup there? He's got a nice little setup there in his yard. He's got the bird feeders, he's got the nice grill, and then the tree's still decorated with the ornaments. Keeps it going through the winter. I like it a lot. Couple of thoughts running through my mind that I'll pass along before we check in with Carly in Bangor. After the storm, post-storm, like tomorrow or maybe even Monday, if you get an opportunity and have the muscle, go around your neighborhood and try to shovel out some of the hydrants for your local fire department. A lot of fire departments are strapped by COVID right now, just like every other business and industry is right now, and I'm sure they'd be really grateful and appreciative of you doing that. It's a Good Samaritan thing. And while we're on the Good Samaritan thing, if you've got an elderly neighbor or a neighbor that's a little bit older in the neighborhood or needs a little help, go check on them. You never know in these situations. Maybe you have to shovel out their front walkway just so they can get out of their front door in case of an emergency, in the rare case of an emergency. Okay, those two things off the plate now. Let's get up to Bangor, where we had blizzard conditions and probably still do. The wind is really whipping in the Bangor area with some heavy snow. Carly Dion is there. Let's check in with Carly. Hey, Carly.
Go.
But we'll be seeing her throughout the rest of the evening, especially at our 6 o'clock newscast, which will be anchored by the weather team and Mike Slifer. We're going to be handing off the baton to him very shortly. He's going to take over some of the coverage, and we'll be checking in with Keith Carson at some point too. He's been cruising around along the coastline, checking on monster wind gusts out in Cape Elizabeth, and he's got some reports there. And other reporters too will be out this evening checking on the conditions. So that's going to wrap up this Facebook Live. Again, keep following our various social media channels, whether it's Twitter or Instagram. We're getting information out on that, and our website and mobile app is always a great place to go check on things too. And if you can safely take some pictures or video, you can upload them to us on our weather app, the Near Me section. You click on there, it's super easy, and It's great to see everywhere across the state because we can't see everything. We've got a reporter here and a reporter there, but not everywhere. So you kind of are our eyes and our ears and help us out quite a bit during these storm situations. All right, that's going to wrap this up. Our next update will be live on TV in about a half an hour at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and Mike Slifer's got you there. Hope you stay safe for the rest of the storm. We'll see you again. Take care.